Hi, this is János and welcome to Audio Club Mondays. Today we are going to have a look at a very important, a very critical subject, and it is the stages of your audio journey. And especially if you are a new audiophile, you just got into audio, or maybe it's your first decade of being into audio as a hobby, then you will find this episode just pure gold, because I'm going to lay out the path for you. What is it that you can expect? Because what I see, that what people think, what lies ahead of them, is that you're just going to have to upgrade your audio gear to have a better experience, and it's going to cost you more and more and more money. And all the buzz out there is how to find those equipment which are much better value than any other equipment. So basically, you want $1 million amplifier for $10, right? $10 or 20 euros or something like that. And that's why people are just wasting thousands of hours on YouTube videos and reviews because they want to find these elusive audio gear, and they think that once they find an amplifier like that, speakers like that, like a streamer like that, cables like that, and then that's it, they're done. And they just need to find those videos, they need to find those equipment, and they're done. But that's utter rubbish, and the reality has nothing to do with that. And when you got into that mindset that you are looking for this bargain and put them together and it will get you to audio nirvana, that's the sure way to end up in audio hell. Let me say it again, audio hell. The sure way to end up in audio hell. So what I'm going here with my Audio Club Monday series is I'm going to turn you into a mentat, like a human super being, like a human supercomputer who is aware of his choices that he makes in relation to what equipment he chooses for him to represent music in sound in a way that is synchronous with his being and what he desires, what he wants, what is good for him. And now I have Kondo-san, Hiroyasu Kondo, as an example for such a person. And he, those of you who don't know, he was the founder of Audionaut, and his big contribution to audio electronics as we see today, an amplifier designer and tube amplifier user, or any kind of amplification in today's community, is basically he was mostly responsible for making triodes, coming to have the comeback of triodes. So thanks to him we have the triode revival. If he was not there, he wouldn't have followed his dreams, coming up with his own ideas. Today we would very much likely have only solid state amplifiers and push-pull pentodes. That's it. He was the one who returned to single-ended triodes and made them popular. And how he did that, why, that's a long story, but thanks to him we still have that path open to us, known to the entire world of audiophiles, single-ended triodes. And he also had another contribution, silver. So thanks to him, he was the one who, probably he wasn't the first who experimented with silver, but he was the first who was known to experiment with silver wire and use it even in commercially in his systems, in his amplification, he used it to wind his transformers. The original Ongaku had silver as chassis, and so he went to great length to experiment with materials choices as well. And I'm not saying that you have to do what he did, but what I'm saying is that you just need to put yourself into such a mindset to be open to experiment with ideas, and don't be a crowd follower just because the crowd is going somewhere, you know, like lemmings. I'm going with the other lemmings. Maybe the entire bunch is just going off the cliff. And so you want to just be aware what's going on around you, where your journey is taking you. Do you want to go there? And that's why I'm now sharing with you how I see what I have seen in myself and what I see in others around me. So now, as I have this is my third decade of being a hardcore audiophile in my life. Actually, like, I've been an audiophile all my life, but it's been like 3 decades now when I am like really into it, meaning as a builder, designer, making my choices, learning intently and intensively, and shaping my own path. And during these 3 decades, I have observed people who have been on this path even for a longer time, so I can report on their experiences as well, what I've seen, what they struggled with, what was when they made their jumps in their journey, when was the time when they were unhappy, and what made them happy. So now I'm condensing all of this wisdom, audio wisdom, for you in a very, very simple seed. So basically, on the left side, this is where we all begin our audio journeys, or that's the typical beginning. Not all, but this is typical, is that we want just external enjoyment. You notice, wow, I can have more dynamics, more bass, more resolution, more party, impress my friends more. It sounds better. And now we have these catchphrases like, what is it, that thing that drives me off the wall? It's like, geez. Anyway, I cannot even recall it. It just drives me so nuts. So when people say like a game changer or end game system, that's it, end game. What the fuck? Bleep. I bleeped it out. Bleep. What the bleep? And so in the beginning, that's what we are all obsessed with. And if we have like a system that can do maybe like 10 hertz lower or go 10 dB louder, we are all for it, and we label that as better. And it's something that can have very easy external validation. You just sit down, and all your buddies, they agree, yeah, this plays much louder, much deeper, much more, and you all agree on that. But if it was your system and you're listening to it every night, then you realize that there's still something missing. I went last night, listened to this other system which didn't play this loud, and we didn't play this complex, really big, big sounding thing, and that system wasn't even able to reproduce that really complex, really demanding material, but we just listened to this violin sonata, and I cried. And when I go home in my system that can play these big sounds that other system completely failed with, and I'm not satisfied with it. I just heard big sound, and now all my ears are doing is my ears are ringing, and I feel a hollowness. All I feel is that I want more. I want even louder. I even want more bass. And when I play the same recording with that violin sonata that I heard on my body system, it didn't do anything for me. I just felt emptiness. And usually people make when you are not really into understanding music, that violin sonata is nothing. It is boring. If I have like a big jazz concert or lots of drums and bass and whatnot, and the saxophones blaring in the meanwhile, that's so much more better, and that's what gets the parties going. And you just want to forget about the violin thingy and go on building a system that can do that, or maybe can play some rave music or techno music for you. And by the way, that like playing rave music at a volume that is like you experience here at a big huge rave house techno club, you wanna reproduce that in your house, try that with your audio gear. Fail. To build an audio system, a high fidelity system that can reproduce this, is one of the ultimate challenges and the hardest thing to do. But I can tell you, if you manage to do that, it will be it can be a life-changing experience. So I know that all of us are audio snobs in one way, and if you are into jazz music, you say, oh, this is fine music, but like a techno music, that's rubbish, that's just for young people who don't know anything about music. And when you go into this club, then you feel the energy, but usually the sound quality is so bad that you just want to escape. But when you can reproduce it in a system that is of high reproducing capability and can deliver that energy, that atmosphere, it will be like nothing you imagine in your life. Even just thinking about the experience will make you feel so fuzzy in your body that you won't be even to concentrate on your surroundings. And I'm telling this from experience, because my voice of Lancelot, those big speakers, Altec speakers with the Ampex amplifiers, can repeat that. They can do this rave party thing at home, and it is something which is like out of this earth, and totally caught me unexpected and unaware that such a thing does exist. It's just unbelievable. But if you want to chase that, and you just want to expand your vision and life and audio history to optimize for this in the beginning, you will lose. You will not get there, for one thing, because you will not run into equipment topologies that can support such an experience, because the mainstream hi-fi is a dead end for this journey. It doesn't get you there, and when it seems to get you there, it will get you there with choices, with offerings that will also destroy your hearing in the meanwhile. So we are always starting, not always, but starting with this part when we are enjoying it, an outer enjoyment, how it sounds with our bodies, external validation, and that's it. And you will progress to here. We see Monsieur Hiraga, Jean Hiraga here. You see plenty of music. I chose this photo on purpose because he's there, surrounded by music, listening to music, contemplating, just deep, absorbing the music. This is where you are going to progress to. When it's not with your body, it's not a big party. I don't want to impress my neighbors. I don't want to impress anyone. I don't care about impressing anyone. I want to absorb music into my heart, into my mind. Be here, be one with music, and from getting here to there is not the function of your audio gear. is the function of your own development. You have to mature inside. And when you are lucky, this maturation progress, it coincides with your choices of audio gear. Because there are some audio gear which are really helpful. They lend you a hand to progress on your audio journey. And there are other audio gear, other philosophies which will keep you here, keep you focused on the external. Typically, when you choose solid state amplifiers, they will massively keep you in the external, how it sounds on the surface, impressing your bodies, external validation. That is where solid state is keeping you. That's what I noticed on all my buddies who stayed there. They had a problem connecting to the deeper layers of music, and it was not necessarily their problem, but I've seen several of them, many of them wanting to connect deeper, but they could not, because the gear keeps your focus on the surface. And when you have a tube system, the tube system will allow you to go deeper, to connect to the soul of the music, to the substance, to the deeper layers. And that's why for me, like between tubes or solid state, the choice is not which sounds better, but they are kind of like boarding trains, and one takes you to north, other takes you south. Where do you want to go? You want to go north, you want to go south. Board the train appropriately, and don't just keep on hopping trains north and south on the way there, because you will get nowhere. So, keeping it short, I think there are 3 stages to the audio path. In the beginning is the thrills. When you go for the external validation, how it sounds, you want more, and more. And that's when you binge on audio journals, etc., want to hear YouTube sound clips, and you judge by them. And then after a while you realize that you think you know a lot, but you really don't understand anything. And then the second stage of the journey is when you spend some time with it, or maybe a lot of time, and then you find your own way. You are finding out what is it that you really want, and you are no longer just a flotsam in the current of the audio marketing world, but you already realize that you want to get somewhere, and you are on the way getting there, but you are still lost. You don't know how to go, you don't know yet how to swim, but you are just trying to not drown, and you feel that you do not have control over it, but step by step you are slowly going where you want to. And at the end, the third stage is when you master your path. Now you have enough information, enough understanding to know where you are going, and also how to get there. And that's what my channel is all about, is that you get to stage 3. And I'm sharing advices that will get you, take you from the audio newborn to someone who is able to control his or her own destiny, as far as where you want to go, for the choices of your audio gear, on how to make it compatible with your dreams, with yourself, with your essence. And where we are. So basically, the progression in the beginning is your question is how it sounds. So when you ask this question, how does it sound? Does it sound better? That's the beginner question. And where you wanna end up is what effect it has on me. That's where you reach, where you go. And what effect it has on me, it's not just the audio gear, it's you as well. You need to be aware of what's going on inside you when you listen to music. And that's when you know that's when you know what kind of speakers you want to hear, what kind of amplifiers you want to hear. And that's why, just like having a loudspeaker that some people rave about, might not work for you at all, and it's not because that's a bad speaker. That's because it doesn't work for you, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for anyone. And we just need to develop the maturity to understand that you know, it's kind of like a beefsteak. It's not everyone's food. There's some people who love it and others who won't eat it. Try to tell it to a vegan that the beefsteak is the best, you know, like a Kobe beef. Yeah, I eat Kobe beef. Okay, vegan. It won't work. Same thing with speakers. So that's why, like, single driver speakers, for some people they work, and others they don't work at all. And I got comments, a very kind comments. Thank you everyone, always when you comment. I truly appreciate it, and especially when they are comments that make me think, or something that is like controversial to what I'm sharing on my channels. I truly welcome those comments, because I can expand on them and share on them. And Rambler was saying that he heard a gazillion video clips of single driver speakers, and he thinks all of them have a broken sound, and all they can do is like produce a great opera singer, but that's it. Or like the recording that I did with my, not these, but with my Cube Audio speakers, where an oud playing, like the Middle Eastern lute, which is the father of the lute. So it's the lute equivalent instrument, for those who don't know what an oud is. And it's like, he was saying that, okay, it sounds nice, but what about some complex music? And that's what I want to impress on everyone, that simplicity and complexity, there is no ranking between the two. And it's not, he was saying that, oh, any loudspeaker can do simple music superbly. No, that's it. No. Those systems that can do complex music, like for example, you get, I'm just now looking at something specific, like Wilson Audio Chronosonic speakers, then D'Agostino amplifiers, and also matching front end, play that oud music, and I would just run out like, this is yuck, I can't even listen to it. On the same system, you put on something really complex, concert, large scale, and 19 out of 20 will say that this is the divinity of audio, they haven't heard anything like that. But put on that single oud, single singer, or a single piano, and I would stand up and I say like, no, even these babies do a much better job than that. So simplicity and complexity are not, one is better than the other, it is different choices. And if someone doesn't appreciate one thing, it doesn't mean that that thing is just failure and doesn't work for anyone. It means that it's not your path. And also, when we are trying to judge these recordings, so there are like a family of speakers which are fantastic on single voice or simple music, and you try to listen to recordings of those on complicated systems, they cannot reproduce that sound that those systems reproduced. So if you want an echo from something on your speakers, you will never hear the strength of that system, because it will be always hamstrung by your system. And that's why when we try to listen to YouTube videos for what are the great things, what are the benefits of a system, you will never hear it on your system, because whatever advantage that system has, your system does not have it. Your system has different strengths, different weaknesses, And when the weakness of the other system and your system add up together, you will hear it as a massive drop. And then you can comment, ooh, this really sucks. But when you listen to it real life, there are quite remarkable differences between how it sounds real life and what you heard through YouTube on your system. So that's why I say that do not judge stuff that harshly when listening through YouTube. But anyway, Rambler, thank you so much for that comment of yours, and I'm going to do more than that to address it. I'm going to do planning to do an episode of just going deeper into single driver speakers. What are the strengths and what are the disadvantages of them? Because you absolutely correctly nailed it, is that they cannot play as loud as multi-driver speaker can. And for those who absolutely must have loud playing, they will not work. That's easy, but that does not make them failed speakers or bad speakers. It's just that, you know, if it's not your size shoe, it will not fit on your feet. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad shoe, it just means it's not yours, it's someone else's. When we try walking in other people's shoes, some will fit, others won't fit, and our job right here, right now, is to figure out which shoes fit on our feet or not. And I myself have the kindness or gentleness that if it's a shoe that doesn't fit my feet, I will not say that it's rubbish, it's failure, or that's a bad design, or you know, everyone should avoid it, or whatever. No, it's just not my cake, but there are others who love it. Like, for example, Wilson speakers. It's not my cup of tea at all. I think I have overly emphasized that over my videos, but they do have merits, benefits, and overwhelmingly the majority of people who hear them think that they are fantastic. And I don't question that, because that's people's experience. So thank you everyone for listening to my rambling on Monday morning, and I hope you benefited for it. And for everyone who has supported me through Buy Me a Coffee, huge thank you. You guys and girls are simply amazing and stunning, and I do have lots of things because of your donations and support. I have transformers coming in. I have received some already, and there will be loads of adventures that were made possible through Buy Me a Coffee. And but about those later on. It's a surprise. Bye bye.